Well, hello everyone. I'm back. I have tape in my tape runner again, and I'm going to pick up where I left off, which was putting this red strip on the top of the white cardstock that will go on this card base. So here we go. All right. And I double checked and I made sure that my first two videos were okay, and it looks like they are, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so I've got the red cardstock on the top and the bottom, and then you're going to go back to your sticker sheet. You had already used a 5 1/4 strip off of here. The next piece that you're going to cut is going to be 4 inches, and it's going to go right across the top of this white cardstock base. And then we're going to put this on the card base itself. So let me put that on. And I'm not going to put the sticker on, like I said earlier, because I actually need the sticker sheet for one of my kits. So, but it goes right here. And then you got a gold piece of glitter paper with this pack that should be 4 inches wide, and you're just going to put it right down here by the red cardstock. I'm going to open up the card. The next two things that you got in your kit would have looked like this, and I think I actually clipped them together. So it's going to be an avocado piece of cardstock and then a striped piece of paper, patterned paper. On the other side, you have this. You could choose to use that if you'd like. I chose to use the stripe side just for the contrast with the green background, but totally up to you. And again, this is a little bit different shade. I used the lighter side on this page. So I'm going to go ahead and stick the striped paper down. Now this goes, I'm going to start on the right. There's an 1/8 of an inch all the way around, just like that. And then right next to that, this is a sticker, and you would cut it to 5 1/4 inches. And don't get rid of this because I think we're going to use the rest of it on a different place. So cut this 5 1/4 inches, and you're going to put it, I actually put it a little bit over the stripe sheet to leave just about, I would say, almost 5/8 of an inch to the left here. You can put it flush, it doesn't matter. You're still going to have plenty of room. So the sticker goes on next, and then back to the sticker sheet. You're going to need the white poinsettia, which is right here on your sticker sheet, and the words comfort and joy, which are down here. So the white poinsettia goes on the lower left-hand side of your card, right over here, and then the comfort and joy goes right on the top of it. I didn't pop this up. Certainly you can if you want to, using your foam dots or any kind of foam adhesive that you have to raise it up a little. I did not, because I envisioned using this to write on. So I wasn't worried about having to put a picture underneath it. The right side is the exact same process. The only difference is that I left this a full sheet instead of having the space on the left. There's an 1/8 of an inch all the way around again. And so once you stick those down, they're going to look like this. The sticker on the upper right-hand side here is a different white poinsettia. You have two on your sticker sheet, so I just used the other one, whichever one you hadn't already used. And then the 1225 is here, right here sideways. And I did put a little bit of a dovetail banner underneath there by cutting 1.5 inches more of this sticker and dovetailing the end of it so you have that nice little ribbon effect. And I put that underneath the poinsettia on the upper right-hand side of this page. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this down while you're applying your stickers. And I'm going to go back in and add my stickers later with a different sticker sheet that I have. But I'm using the full sticker sheet to just kind of show you where everything is. I had already cut mine up, so I'll do that later. But this is what this page looks like when it's done. Okay, now the back, let me fold it up. This is the back of the card. And on this one, you would have gotten in your kit a 3x4 photo mat, which I'm going to flip because it's going to go horizontally. And then you got two pieces that look like this. You may have got poinsettia pieces. I don't think so, though. I think everybody got the candles. If you got poinsettias, that was intentional because I may not have had this candle paper. And so I figured the poinsettia looked just as good. So if you got that, it's going to match perfectly well. And it's just a little bit different than the actual original. So take one of your two 1-inch pieces, and that's going to go at the top of your card. I tend to leave 1/8 of an inch around a lot of my card designs because I like having that white or a different color cardstock in the background. And so that's a pretty typical design that I use. And then this one on the bottom, same thing. There's the 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And then I placed the photo mat next, and I'll show you why I did that in a second. So the photo mat goes horizontally, and because there is a little space, I don't know, let me see. You can probably see there's about 1/8 of an inch on the top and of the bottom. It didn't quite fill the space. That's where I put my red paper, my glitter paper. And so it should lay right in there pretty well so that you don't end up with any spacing at all. And then lastly, on this page, Always Believe is the sticker that I put at the bottom. You can put it at the top. I mean, you can do with it whatever you prefer. That's where I placed it in the sample. So now this card with the stickers that are not on mine is done. So I'm going to put that to the back. The next component is another Picture My Life card with just a 4x6 photo mat on the back and a couple stickers on the front. So you have those clipped together in your kit. The first thing I'm going to do is just tape my Picture My Life card to my photo mat, just like this. Now this one is this color on the other side. So if you prefer that, go ahead and do that. I chose to do the lighter background because this seemed a little dark to me. So I wanted to kind of lighten up this next page. This has the large Christmas tree in the lower left-hand corner, which is right here on your sticker sheet. And then there's a small white circle right here with a gold snowflake. I guess it's a star or snowflake, whichever. I think it's a star because I made it into a star for the top of the Christmas tree. So that's one of these right here. Okay. So once that's on there and you've got your little star on the top, and you've got your 4x6 photo mat on the back for a picture, then that page is done. Okay, so now we're almost through the book, actually, the book assembly. So your next is an envelope. Again, you've got things clipped to the front and the back. I'm going to take the back off, put it to the side. We'll come back to that. And wow, I do have a pile of paper clips. I think you must too. I bet there's 15, 20 paper clips here by now. So save those because I'm telling you, you are going to love, love, love these paper clips. I bought these on Amazon and I literally use them all the time. Okay, this next page, you've got quite a few pieces. Again, it's an envelope where I've cut off the flap. So I've got the side with the little 1/4 of an inch smaller on the front. I used a poinsettia in my sample, but then I realized I had this leftover candle piece and I kind of liked that since I had only introduced it on one other page. So I decided to switch to that. Now, most of you, I think, got the candle. You may have gotten the poinsettia. I think the first couple kits I did, I had the poinsettias in there, but just whichever paper you have is what you're going to want to use. Okay, so the first thing I did was tape either the poinsettia or the candle onto this avocado green piece of cardstock. I just used the lighter side because I did a quick check and I liked the lighter side better. Totally your choice. You're going to put red glitter paper on here. You can't really see it's all the way across here because the photo mat's already down. But I'm going to stick the either poinsettia or candle piece onto my envelope. Now let me tell you, I'm going to measure this right now so that I can make sure I give you an idea of the placement. Okay. So I think, let me just double check. I thought it was about 1.25 inches. Maybe it's 1 inch I guess it's 1.5 inches. I think I put it 1.5 inches up from the bottom, and that kind of centers it, and that makes sense. That does make sense that I would have done 1.5 inches. So it's 1.5 inches up from the bottom, and then lay in your red glitter paper here and up here. Then I have a flip flap that opens to the right. I'm pretty sure I sent you ones that open up. Either way, it's going to work. If I did send you one to open to the right, then I'm going to show you that assembly. I've already shown you how to do the top load ones. So this is just a little bit different because the 3x4 flip flaps that Close to My Heart offers allow you to put your orientation this way, open it to the side, this way, have it horizontal and open up. Or the other option is the ones we've been doing where the adhesive is at the top and you're flipping it this way. Now, of course, you could turn it and you could open it this way too if you had the vertical orientation of the flip flap. So you can put it on any of those directions. This one, I'm just going to show you how to put it so it's facing out instead of going up and down. So the flip flap opens. Again, your adhesive is on the top always. And you slide your PML card in like that. So now I've got this. And I'm going to do the same technique that I've used before, which is that I'm going to put the adhesive on the back of my photo mat that's going to rest on the page itself. And I'm going to just line it up with my flip flap so that you can't really see it. Then when I lay it down on here, and this is going to be, it's about a little more than 1/2 inch from the side because we're going to be doing our hole punches there. I would move it a little bit more over to the right. If you can see on my screen, it's about 1 inch from the top and the bottom, and it's probably almost 1 inch over from the left-hand side. And then I'm going to stick that down. And when I open it, then this should also be already in position. And it looks like it's straight. If it wasn't, well, I guess I didn't take the adhesive off. So I guess I better do that, right? I forgot that step. That was silly of me. Let me take the adhesive off. This is interesting, but I think I can do it. And the card was already underneath there, so it kind of held it in place, which was good. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. So now this is on here, and you've got a place for 2 different 3x4 photos. Now I'm going to turn to the back of the envelope. I did put a few tags inside of this one, I think, it looks like. Yeah, I definitely have a couple tags in there. All right, the back of this, you're going to start with a PML card that I had to trim down just a little bit in order to make it fit on the envelope. So I trimmed 1/4 inch off the top and 1/4 inch off the bottom so you can see how that fits on there. It would have been slightly too big to leave it on the envelope in its full size. So I did. Now the other side is this color. It'll be across from this. So if you prefer this glacier blue, then by all means go ahead and do it that way. I'm going to leave it the way that I had it because I kind of like the red and the green across from each other, since this is kind of a traditional mini album for Christmas. So, but it's obviously your choice how you want to do that. Okay, so I've got that on there. Yep, the lines are going up, but we're going to cover it, not to worry. So you should have a 4x4 piece of paper in your kit. Now, if you turn it over and notice there's lines on there, this was actually left over from a Story by Stacy album that I did, and I thought by including it in here, it actually gives you journaling lines if you prefer to have that side up. I want to use this for a picture because of where it's placed in the album. So I'm going to just center it so that I've got just about the same amount of the white from the PML card on each top and bottom of this. And so this is now a 4x4 photo spot. Then I gave you a green strip to cover that white spot here. And the same for the top of your photo mat or journaling page, whichever you decided to use. And then you've got your red glitter paper that you can put on there just for a little extra sparkle on that page. So that's the back of the envelope. Put that to the side. The next page is a PML card, and then we're actually at the back of the cover. So that's pretty cool. This is very simple. All you're doing is adhering the PML card to your photo mat. Okay. And that's that. So now you've got all your pages and you have your cover. So here's what I did next. You're going to need to use a hole punch. I used a Crop-A-Dile. If you have one, it would be the larger hole in your Crop-A-Dile. If you don't have a Crop-A-Dile, a regular hole punch will work. The hole needs to be the one that's just about 1/4 of an inch to fit these rings in there. And so I've already done the cover punching for you, and I did that for a reason. And that's so you could have a guide. And plus, the paper had to be on the cover in order for me to do that original punch. So I just decided I'm just going to do the cover front and back, and then you didn't have to worry about it. What I would recommend now as you do this assembly is to get out a pencil. And I thought I had one with my workspace right here. So I'm going to go grab one in just a second. But what you want to do is use your cover as your sample to know where to place your punches. So, and you also want to, since this first one is a card, make sure that I'm going to take these out just because I hadn't actually adhered them. Make sure there's nothing in the way so that when you're ready to punch, it's actually not going to cut something that you don't want to have cut. Now, in this case, everything's already glued or taped down, so you don't have to worry about it. But I just mentioned that just as a kind of a caution. So what I would do is first just line up your card however you want it positioned in your book. Now, I did mine so that they're flush to the left-hand side and that they're centered within the cover. So let me make sure you can see this. There's just about 1/4 of an inch on the top and 1/4 of an inch on the bottom. Definitely only do one piece at a time as you're doing the punching. If you try to do a stack, inevitably something's going to get out of alignment and I don't think you're going to be as happy with your result. So just do one at a time. And once you have this lined up, turn it over. And since I didn't get a pencil, I'm going to go grab it right now. So this gives you a chance to do your alignment, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm sure you all have yours lined up now. So I brought my Crop-A-Dile too while I went to get my pencil. So what I like to do is just take my pencil and draw a small circle where I'm going to actually do the punching. This one's going to be a little tricky because I've got glitter right there, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, I can definitely see it. Hopefully you can see it too. So I am going to take my Crop-A-Dile, and as usual, I have a little piece left over in there. Let me get rid of that. Okay. I'm going to take my Crop-A-Dile, and I'm going to center that circle inside the punch for the Crop-A-Dile, or a hole puncher, whichever you have. Don't worry if you don't have the Crop-A-Dile. Hole punch works perfectly fine. And then I'm going to punch both of those holes. Okay? So you can see what that looks like. And now I'm just going to keep it with my book, just like that. And I'm going to follow that process for every page. So let me do this again. This is the next page. It happens to be an envelope. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to space it. Now, if you wanted to, you could make everything flush to the bottom. I did not do that. You certainly could. I centered all of mine, but it's totally up to you what you decide how you want to assemble this. I'm going to turn this over. I'm still using my cover since I know that then everything will match. And I've drawn my two circles from the cover, and there they are. I'm going to take my whatever punch tool I'm using, and I keep getting the punch out stuck in there. I have to get those out. Okay, so here we go. And I've got this lined up, and I've got this lined up again. Okay, now I'm just going to test it. Pretty sure it's going to be okay. But, you know, I kind of take my time with this step because it's important. You want to make sure you've got everything lined up. It's going to be within these rings, so it is going to shift around a little bit anyway. So not to worry if you end up a little bit off. But always just, you have to think about where you're placing your card. Make sure it's in the right orientation, that you're punching on the right side. I will tell you, though, that even if you don't punch on the right side, like what happened to me, there's always a fix. I actually put this card on upside down, so I had to put this little red glitter strip on mine. So you can always fix your happy little accidents. There's always a fix. So I've got this lined up how I want it. Now I'm going to go back here, take my pencil, and do my circles. And take my punch. And line up the hole. And line up the hole. Okay. These are about 1/2 inch in, as you can see from here. That's just when you line it up to the edge, that's how I did your covers. So it's naturally going to end up that way on all your pages. I'm not going to go through and punch all of these, but I wanted to show you the technique. And honestly, if you have any questions or you need help with this step, just reach out to me. I can help you. We can get on a Zoom session together or some other way for us to communicate where we can kind of see what each other are doing. But I really don't think you're going to have any trouble with it at all. You will, these rings, when you first start opening and closing them, I will tell you they're a little tight. So all you've got to do is make sure that you twist them a little as you're trying to separate them. They will loosen up over time, but they are a little bit tight at first. So the last thing I want to tell you is when you put your rings on, I would start at the back, because then your this mechanism here is going to be at the end of the book. It's not going to show as you're looking at the front of the book. See, it'll be in the back. So I would definitely do that. And then you can tie, I've thought about, I might put some bells, tie some bells on here, some ribbon on here. There's all kinds of things that you can do to add to this design. And please, 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 if you do that, post them in our event page if you could. I love, love, love to see what people do to add their kind of own touch to these mini albums. So please, please, please post it. I'm going to end. No, I'm not going to end yet. I mentioned to you that I did quite a bit of stickles in my book. If you want to do that, just make sure that you're decorating a page at a time. Keep them in the same order. Let them dry for quite a while before you put them back together and complete them in your book. Let's see, I'll just take you through what I did. I used white stickles, red stickles, and green. I might have used gold. I'll tell you when we get further. I know I used gold. I'm pretty sure I used 4 different colors of stickles. Here's an example. I wanted the love, and I don't know if YouTube is actually going to capture that sparkle, but I kind of think it might. I used white on the love. I put red berries on the holly. Now, I could take it a step further, and I might, now that I'm looking at this, and make the holly leaves green and these little sprigs. I might do that. I don't know. Also, on here, I put some white stickles in the middle of the poinsettia. This one I did green sprigs, and then I realized I kind of like the white sprigs. So on the sticker, I did green, but on this one, I did white. So there are stickles there. I don't think there's any stickles that I did on this page. This poinsettia, I did put white stickles and little red berries here. I definitely decorated the trees with gold and red stickles for the ornaments. I thought that looked pretty. Same here, but I used silver stickles because I had silver glitter paper. So I did that instead of the gold. And here's the white again on this poinsettia. I made just little red stickle dots to look like gems here on this PML card. Just dab a little bit of stickles and make a circle. Pretty easy. On this one, I carried that theme of the white stickles on the inside of the poinsettia here. So hopefully you can see the sparkle. And I did do white sparkles on the leaves of this flip-flap, the wreath for the Noel. Turn the page. There's stickles that are white here on the Silent Night and just some little stickle dots over here. I did a silver stickle circle where that kind of that keyhole punches on the 25 here. I really decorated the love, peace, and joy with white stickles. And I don't think I mentioned to you about this dove when we built this card. There is a dove on the sticker sheet, and it's right here. And that does go on this card right here, just in the upper left-hand corner. And I did add some white stickles on the dove's wings. There's no stickles there. I thought that was already sparkly enough. I did do red stickles on the berries of the holly branches here, and also on the berries on this PML card and on the back This one actually has a sticker, and I don't think I mentioned that when I went through the class. There is a sticker that I put on here. If you don't want it there, you can leave it off and use it for something else. I did put white stickles on the ornament here. I did put white stickles. Again, these are poinsettias, and I liked having the centers of the poinsettias with the stickles on there, so I did do that there. I kind of outlined the way that this gold poinsettia sticker flowed with just some small gold stickles dots. Wow, I missed a poinsettia. I thought I did all the poinsettias, but I would probably put some white stickles on these centers of these poinsettias just because it's on the rest. I did white stickles on the flames of the candles, and I did red on the little berries. I didn't do any stickles on here because the gold on this tree already was sparkly, so I left that one, but I think the red stickles would look pretty on there. And there's no stickles here. There's no stickles here. On this card, I used gold and white. I did gold on the sprigs and white on these little, what are they called? Filigrees? I don't know, but you know what I mean. And then I did white on the little snowflakes there. And white on the poinsettia, red on the berries on the back cover. So that's it. That's the stickles. So thank you for watching. I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to create another video for the card assembly, just in case somebody wants to just do the cards and didn't follow along with the mini album. So there will be a follow-up video for the card assembly. And again, thank you for watching. Please post your finished albums and show everyone how you made this your own. I love to see them. Thank you and Merry Christmas.